Now back to building the 52.5 millimeter DIO engine. I was over at my other shop and I happened to get one of my other stroker blocks, and I'm going to show you the difference. And let me give you a little tiny bit of backstory. All right, the stock diameter for the stock AF 16 case is 44 millimeters. That's how wide this crank weight is. I'm going to put that crank weight in there just so I don't have to carry it around. Let me see, is that backwards? Backwards. Of course it's backwards. So what we're looking at in stock, it's 44 millimeters across. Now when people stroke out their little motors like this, from what I've seen, being one guy in the wilderness on the mainland, a dumbass old haole, a lot of my Hawaiian friends have smiled at me and said that means a revered mainlander. Yeah, right. Anyway, so when they talk about strokers, there's only 2 strokers that I know about that can be done as far as size. This is a 50 millimeter, which a lot of people make, I guess. And you can go one size larger, which is a 52.5 millimeter. And this is the crankshaft for that. I'm going to take the cranks out and have you take a look at them. And then I've got to get out my camera and take a whole bunch of really detailed pictures, but I haven't got there yet. So what we have here, these are not stock cranks, these are stroker cranks. We have 50 millimeter and a bigger 52.5, which I'm building right now. As you can see, the weights on the larger crank right here are wider. They're just, I don't know how, you can see they're probably a millimeter or 2 wider. But what that means is that the special bearings, I think they're stock bearings, and you can see they're rounded on one side, but they are cut a millimeter thinner on one side in order to fit into the crank bearing races. And this is a bearing race right here. They call it a bearing race because that's the crankshaft runs around the bearing. Okay? And I kind of have to make these videos slow so that I can get some close-up pictures. Therefore, if you need to come back and look at these, you can do that in years in perpetuity. I'm making them for my grandchildren who they're going to say, Jesus Christ, I don't know that old fool. I was adopted. At least, that's what my wife keeps telling me.